last.
No, no problem.
Okay, so we have here Matangini Vararoha we had completed.
Yes, yes.
Vararoha we have completed. Now it is Matmatanga Sni.
So the next nama is Matta Matanga Gamini.
Matanga Gamini, correct.
So the meaning of the word Matta Matanga Gamini. Matta means in a state of rut. Okay. Matanga means an elephant. Gamini is gait, the walk. So Matta Matanga Gamini describes Devi as one whose gait, the way she walks, to be something which resembles an elephant's walk and not an ordinary elephant, an elephant in a rut, that intoxicated state. So that normally happens for a young elephant. So the rut is an ichor that flows from the temples of the elephant. And when that ichor flows from the temple of the elephant sways. No, it's not that steady gait. It sways. Okay. So the gait of Devi is compared to that of an elephant in rut. All right. So it can, when we look into it as a physical resemblance, it is a stylish walk of Devi. All right. But these namas go beyond the physicality of the meaning. So this matanga, okay, is a specific term within the Tantra Shastra, which refers to a saint or a sage or a rishi by name Matanga Maharshi. Devi was adopted by Matanga Maharshi as his daughter. Therefore, Devi also gets a name Matangi. Now, Raja Matangi is the name. We saw that uh, Nama, Matangi. So, Matangi is the daughter of Matanga Rishi. Now, what is the speciality of Matanga Rishi? Matanga Rishi did not belong to the four Varnas. He was neither a Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, or even a Shudra. Matanga Maharshi belonged to what we can say as an outcast. Okay. So the term that is used is the Chandala. So he was a Chandala by birth. He rose to the status of Rishi. So within the Tantra Shastra, the importance of Matanga Rishi is to show the universality of the tantric principles that can be adopted by any person. Right? Now, what we mean here, let us become very clear. It is not merely because of a choice uh, of birth or something like that, but more so, it means that the tantric path is open to anyone who has acquired the requisite discipline to practice it. And to an extent that Devi herself becomes his daughter. So that is the height of the Siddhi, okay, in the Mantra Marga or in the Tantra Marga. So she is Matangi. In this Nama, Matta Matanga. Matanga is one who has left behind all the socio-cultural shackles. Because let us remember that ultimately in this path, everything, including the thought, is a vikalpa. confining to certain socio-cultural order is also a vikalpa that has to be set aside at a particular state, not in the beginning stages. Only when someone has reached that high state of self-realization. So Matanga is that high sadhaka, the highest level to which a sadhaka can raise himself, where he becomes matta. Now I described that normally this ichor flows from the temples of the elephant. Okay. Now it is a metaphor for the amrita sravana that takes place in a yogi. So normally even when we read Swamiji's Kundalini Rahasya, describes that the highest anubhuti, what happens is the entire 72,000 nadis in the body, okay, there will be a divine flow of amrita that happens in these 72,000 nadis, and the entire body becomes amritamaya, or it becomes the Shambhava Vapu. It becomes the Shiva Sharira. It is no longer the Parthiva or the Panchabhautika Sharira. So Matta Matanga, a yogi who has completely uh, come out of the entire Vikalpa Prapancha, who is in the state of the highest bliss, which is the Matta. Gamini, Devi, is the one who moves within such a sadhaka, and also it is the sadhaka himself becomes Devi Swarupa. So he no longer is the older individual person, but he is the Devi personified. So we have countless examples where we have such sages or such experienced saints who give up their old identities and declare a new identity. The best case example we will have with is Swami Lakshmanju himself. We know that towards the end, when he had the darshana of Sachanda Bhairava, after that he has, it's on records that he has declared that the old identity is gone, and he is now Parabhairava himself. And fortunately, when I was there, I happened to meet Mr. Lawrence, who spent the last 4 or 5 months with Swamiji.
Who?
Lawrence
Oh,
Small.
Lawrence Hall. Lawrence Small. Yes, yes.
So he was describing that once when Swamiji was in US, and there was a call, and Swamiji picked up the call, and you know how he answered the call? He takes the phone and he says, Parabhairava here speaking.
Yeah.
So there is no difference between the sadhaka and the aradhya there. Okay, they both are one. So Matta Matanga Gamini Devi is walking in the form of such realized souls. So that is the artha of the Matta Matanga Gamini. So, okay. This is a very interesting nama, Himsa.
Himsa.
Okay. We know the meaning of the word Himsa. One who is violent.
Violence, yeah.
All right. So, why do we call Devi as violence? For that matter, the word Simha, no, for lion, comes from the dhatu hims, that which is violent, an animal which is extremely violent. All right. But we can explain Himsa in various legends of Devi, where she has performed the acts of violence in destroying the various demons, which is described. multiple instances for that. But normally, what is himsa? Himsa is a form of anugraha of Devi. Out of the 5 krityas, the third kritya is samhara. Now, samhara is at both cosmic level, at individual level, cognitive level also. In samhara, there is samhara does not, that's why at times these English translations don't do justice. When we translate samhara as destruction, creation, sustenance, destruction is not what samhara means. Samhara means dissolution, bringing everything back to its source. That is what is samhara. So, in the act of samhara, that which has appeared, okay, that appearances are withdrawn back to its causal form. So, this withdrawal of appearance to the causal form is an act of himsa. Himsa to what? Himsa to the previous state of the sustenance. You will no longer be able to, at any level you see, but whether you are looking at it from a cosmic level or even at a cognitive level, you will not be able to see the previously experienced form because it has been withdrawn. So this withdrawal is considered to be the act of the violence, okay, or the act of himsa. Violence is not the right word because that brings very negative connotations to us. So, Devi is called as himsa because she is the Shakti which brings forth the samhara. But we should always remember that behind all the 4 states, Srishti, Sthiti, Samhara, as well as the Tirodhana, it is the Anugraha which is the overarching guiding principle. It is because of the Anugraha Srishti takes place, because of Anugraha Sthiti takes place. Similarly, the Samhara as well as the Tirodhana. So, it is for or as an act of, because for us, Parashiva is Sakriya. No, he is active principle. So the act of Anugraha or manifests in the 4-fold states. And Himsa or Samhara is also one such manifestation of such of the Anugraha. Right. There is another way of looking at Himsa. When we look into the symbolism behind, let us say, of the lion, which is considered to be the Devi Vahana, the mount of Devi. Lion, which is Simha, and like I said, Simha is the reversal of Himsa. Okay. So, Simha stands for the prana. Simha stands for the prana. And it is through the prana that the act of manifestation itself takes place. How do we know this? Prak samvit prane parinata. This is the statement. And you will find this explained in great detail by Acharya Abhinavagupta in Tatraloka. That is, the first manifestation of samvit, of supreme consciousness, was in the form of prana. That is why many of the upayas that we have focuses on prana. See, this prana is is not the physical Vayu. That is why Vayu is Vayu is something which is operating at a Atma Tattva or the Ashuddha Tattva level. Okay. Whereas Prana is the very first manifestation. The Chit Shakti uses Prana as a vehicle. So the Pancha Pranas that we speak of, Prana, Pana, Vyana, Udana, Samana, the air is only the vehicle for the Prana. Okay, so it is not the control of the Vayu, which is called as Pranayama in the Shaiva Yoga. It is the control of the Prana Shakti, not control. It is balancing the Prana Shakti, which is called as a Pranayama. So the very first manifestation is Prana. And what is manifestation? Manifestation means making or bringing into existence a sense of individuality, okay, as distinct from the Supreme. Right? That is the first Sankalpa. When Shiva, who is Purna Aham Swarupa, Purna Ahanta, decides to manifest, that results in the projection of the Idam or thisness, Idanta. So this Idanta projection starts with Prana. And more it becomes denser. The idea or the notionality of the Idanta becomes denser. The more and more we are away from our Swarupa Aham. To an extent that as a Purusha, okay, I am seeing everything different from me, everything away from me, and I am seeing that as serving a purpose for me. So this is the level to which we have come away from the Shiva Swarupa, in which there is nothing other than I. Okay, there is nothing other than Ahanta. So this projection of Idanta is considered as an act of violence. Violence to your original Swarupa. And let us remember, it is not caused by any other agency, but it is self-caused by the Swatantra Shakti of Shiva. We don't have anything else other than Swatantra responsible for this manifestation.
Yeah.
So this projection of Prana Shakti, okay, is the act of Himsa. And to denote that, we have the Simha as the vehicle of the Devi.
Shekharji, one question, sorry. We also equate prana with the Ganesha in Shiva. Is it
Yes,
correct?
yes.
Okay.
Yes. Okay. Now, what is the logic for that?
Huh.
A very nice question. What is the logic for that? What is the meaning of the word Ganesha? When we look into the meaning of the word Ganesha,
Gana
Isha.
Gana Isha.
Okay, one who is the Lord of Gana.
Gana.
Now, what is Gana? Gana, normally we understand some set of attendants of Shiva, right?
Correct.
Bhutagana, Shivagana, and he is the in charge, something like the leader of a group and kind of thing. No. In that sense, we don't take the word Ganesha and explain it within the Trika system. We go to the etymology of the word Gana. Right? Gana means to compute.
Correct.
That is why we have the word Ganita for mathematics.
Right.
All right. So sir, for computing, what do you require?
Numbers.
If you have to apply numbers, okay, how should the objects or phenomena exist?
In some sequence.
Okay. And to create sequence, what do you require? You require divisions.
Correct.
Without divisions, there is no
Division.
sequence.
You're right. Correct.
Okay. And what creates divisions?
Mm.
Categories creates divisions.
Correct.
Categories creates divisions. Okay. So, what is the first categorization in creation?
Panchamahabhutas?
No. I and you is the first
Okay,
categorization.
right. Correct. First is that aham idam. Right.
Okay. So, which is the first srishti?
Idam.
The nationality,
Mm.
okay, of Idanta as
Idanta.
separate category from Aham
Correct.
is the first srishti, which is because of prana. Therefore, Ganesha is prana,
Not. Mm.
right? So, it is from that point of view that we have Ganesha representing the prana. Pranatanum, Ganapatim.
Mm. Correct.
That is the word that is used in the shloka. So, Pranatanu, one who is the personification of prana. Okay, nice. It was a good thing. So, okay, from Himsa we go on to the next Nama, very beautiful Nama and beautifully connected with the previous Nama, which is Hamsa Gatihi.
Hansagati.
So also normally if you understand the word Hamsa Gati, Gati once again is a gait, movement.
Movement.
Hamsa Swan. I don't think any of us would have seen a swan walking, but the description is that it has a very beautiful, slow, okay, swaying gait.
Slow.
That's how a swan walks.
Correct.
So Hamsa Gati means one who has a very beautiful, very majestic, very slow and steady walk. Right? This is a normal understanding of the word Hamsa Gati. But the word Hamsa is like power packed with so much of meaning within the Tantragama literature. And there are almost every Mula Grantha, every great Acharya has written on the Hamsa. Because what is Hamsa? Hamsa is that supreme identity of the individual with the supreme.
Soham.
Yes. Aham Saha.
Mm.
Aham Saha. You remove the A, Ham Saha.
Mm.
Okay. And this is also shown, if you recall, in the Pratyabhijna Hridaya, Acharya Kshemaraja first describes the Panchakrityas of Shiva. And then in the next sutra, he says, look, see, which is the most convenient idea for us to accept? The most convenient idea for us to accept, in sense, to be convinced about, is the fact that the entire prapancha is Shiva. Okay? Whatever is there, it is Shiva. It is divine. It is a projection of the divine. So, we are quite okay to accept this. But what is the most difficult thing for us to be convinced of is that you are Shiva. Because I am so convinced about my individuality, about my weakness, that I cannot come to I cannot reconcile with the fact that I am Shiva. Because I know I am weak. I know my limitations. I experience my limitations in every act, okay, every moment of my life. So how do I convince myself that I am Shiva? So Acharya Kshemaraja uses the very next sutra and it says, Tathaiva Panchakrityani karoti. He says, in the previous sutra, he had explained how the Panchakrityas are the sole propriety of Shiva. And after doing that, in the next sutra, he says, as an Anu, you are also doing the Panchakrityas. So this is one methodology or a pedagogy adopted by Acharya Kshemaraja to teach us our supreme identity. Okay. Another pedagogy is used in the Mula Tantras to give us this conviction that or to tell us about this identity, and that is the ajapa. It is called as the ajapa. Ajapa is japa. Japa is when you thoughtfully engage in a kind of a contemplation. It is japa. Ajapa is when the same contemplation happens
automatically
without your volition, without your sankalpa. It is ajapa. And it says that the 21,600 breaths that we are taking in a 24-hour day cycle, we are constantly, or the entire system is created to constantly remind us of our supreme identity. It says, Hakarena bahiryati, Sakarena vishet punaha, Hamso iti paramam mantraha, Jivaha japati nityashaha. Hakarena bahiryati. Every exhalation happens with hakara. Ha. Every inhalation happens with sakara. The conjunction is the bindu. Okay. The conjunction of hakara and sakara is the bindu. Therefore, with every inhalation exhalation cycle, we are reminding ourselves of our divine identity. Ham saha. Aham saha. And this we are doing 21,600 times in one day.
Yeah.
How do we make it a conscious, not effort? How do we become conscious of it? So that is the important 1 minute.
Yeah, Shekharji will be back. 1 minute.
I'm sorry. So this ajapa dhyana and the ajapa is a practice which is considered to be an inherent methodology for us to understand our divine nature. So this flow of the prana and the apana, which causes the aham and the saha contemplation, is called as the hamsa gati. And in Tamil Nadu, there is a temple by name, there is a place by name Thiruvarur, and Sri Tyagaraja, the form of Shiva, is a supreme Srividya mantra vigraha there. He dances a special dance called as Ajapan Nritya. Oh, the movement reflects the breath of a yogi. Okay, so the
Oh,
dance or the nritya itself is called as
Ajapa
Ajapa
Nritya.
Nritya or Hamsa Nritya or Hamsa Nadana.
Mhm.
So Hamsa Gatihi. Okay, so that's what the Nama is. Hamsa Gatihi. The next Nama is Hamsi. So what is the difference between the previous Nama Hamsa Gatihi and the next Nama Hamsi? Previous Nama stands uh, for the sadhana, okay, of the sadhaka. The next Nama Hamsi is the realization that the sadhaka attains. So through the sadhana, through the ajapa, he realizes that he is the supreme. So she is Hamsi. Also, there is one more uh, attribute to this Hamsa Pakshi, that if you offer a cup of milk and water mixed, they are homogeneous mixture, right? And it is said that the swan will drink only the milk
Milk
and
part.
leave the water behind. Okay, now is it figurative? Is it real? Let's not get into that debate. But what is the idea? The Hamsa is therefore used as a kind of a metaphor for a wise. A wise who can discriminate between the right and the wrong and choose the right and filter out the wrong. That is why even in the Shankaracharya Sampradaya, the there are actually four levels of sannyasis. No, there is a gradation there also. The highest grade of sannyasi is called as a Paramahamsa sannyasi. So he is called as a Paramahamsa
Hmm.
because of the supreme, Viveka or the
Wisdom.
wisdom, the ability to discern between the Nitya Vastu and the Anitya Vastu. So he is called as a Paramahamsa. So Hamsi is a state of realization in which you are able to know your supreme identity and therefore also explain based on that the existence of the world as your projection and not as separate and distinct from you. So this is the reason why Hamsa is as a bird. Hamsa is the vehicle of Saraswati.
Correct.
See, this Vahanas are also very very figuratives. The way the the lion is for Devi Durga, similarly for Saraswati, because Saraswati is Dhishwari. He is the intellect, the wisdom. Okay, and for the first and foremost quality of wisdom is to be able to distinguish between the right and the wrong. Okay, so the Hamsa is that quality on which the intellect rides. If you take Lakshmi, owl, okay, I think most of the north and the east India, we have this owl as a vahana for Lakshmi. Why? How do you make wealth? When you spot an opportunity where others cannot.
Right.
Okay, so that is the owl. So, what?
Okay.
Next now.
Hamsoja
Hamsojvala Shiro Ruha.
Shirojuha. Hmm.
Shiro Juha. No, it's Ru only. Shiro Ruha. Hamsa Ujjvala Shiro Ruha.
Shiroruha. Ah, right.
Hamsa Ujjvala. Ujjvala is shining.
Shining.
Shiroruha. Shiroruha is hair. Okay. So Hamsa Ujjvala Shiroruha. One whose hair shines like Hamsa. Okay. Now, very hard to explain this Nama. Are we saying Devi is having white hair? because that is how Hamsa Bakshi will look.
Hmm.
Let us only take it as the shine, no, of Hamsa's body. Okay, so one who has a very shiny hair. From the physical description, okay, Hamsa Ujjwala Sharoruha, because Ujjwalata is there. Ujjwalata is shine.
Shining.
So just like the Hamsa shines, so does the hair of the Devi shine. So
Ketaji, just one clarification. Shira is head or it is hair?
no, Shira is head. Shira Ruha,
Shira
the
Ruha.
one which comes out of the head, which is the
Okay,
hair.
okay. Thank you.
Yeah. So what is hair? What is the symbolism of hair? Hair stands for the thoughts. Hair stands for the thoughts. Okay? Because the thought project out. The hair comes out of the head. All right. So, and these symbolisms are widely accepted symbolisms within the, not just Tantragamas, even in the Pauranika literature. So, normally hair is therefore considered to be a representation of thoughts. So, anyone who starts his, let's say, puja or his anushtana or anything, before the start of anushtana, he has to tie his hair together. Okay, so tying the hair together is a symbolism of gathering your thoughts and keeping it focused on the particular act. And actually, it is included as a part of the ritual itself in the Tantrika Puja, right? So, gathering the thoughts, okay, and also keeping it tied and not loose. So, that is another uh, principle. Okay, why we should keep the hair braided and not let it loose. Anyway, so Hamsa Ujjwala Sharoraha stands for the aspect of Devi where the projection, that is, okay, one who has had this realization of I am Supreme Shiva. Okay, so because of that, Ujjwala, the experience of the world that he has, okay, is also that the world is not different from me. So the thoughts that comes out after realization is the perfect non uh, difference from the world. So that is how the yogi experiences the world. The yogi does not see, he will see the same world, but he will not see the way we are seeing. For him, the whole world is his own projection. That is why in Shiva Sutras also, we have explanation as to why he can, how can a yogi love and how can he be supremely gracious? Because if there is nothing other than you, what else will you do other than loving it? That is why the jnanis are so compassionate because they don't see the difference between you and me. So that is how the thoughts flow. Thoughts not the way we understand thoughts. Okay, that's how the approach of a yogi is towards the world. So when we call Devi as Hamsa Ujjwala Shiroruha, after the experience of the supreme identity, okay, the way that the entire um, um, shall we say thoughts or shall we say approach to the world is a reflection of that Hamsa Bhavana. So Hamsa Ujjwala Shiroruha. Here
Purna.
we have
हाँ.
Purna Chandra
Purna
Mukhi.
Chandramukhi.
Purna Chandra Mukhi. One whose face resembles the full moon. Purna Chandra Mukhi. Now Purna Chandra is
Full moon.
yeah, full moon. And mm, Interestingly, Rakeshi, you will not find this metaphor in any Western literature.
Mm.
Comparing a girl's or a woman's face with moon. You will find it typically in Asian literature, not just Indian, the Asian literature.
Absolutely correct.
Because the features of the face, okay, the Caucasian feature of a woman is not a round face. So they cannot think of a metaphor of something round, okay, for the face. Whereas the Asian features have a sort of a roundish this thing for the woman. So you will find it in the literature of the East, the face as a metaphor for the woman's sorry, moon as a reference for the woman's
Yes.
face. Okay, not in the Western literature. Anyway, so the Purna Chandra is the moon with all the 16 kalas, Shodasha kala. Okay, that is why on the Purnima, uh, the nature of Devi in her Shodashi form, as a Mahatripura Sundari form, okay, is considered to be reflected in the moon.
Complete.
Therefore, Purnima is considered to be a very auspicious day for the worship of Tripura Sundari. Just like the Amavasya is considered to be the auspicious day for the worship of Kali.
Kali.
Okay. So, Purna Chandra is that full manifestation of all the kalas, okay, of Ishvara. So, one whose face resembles Purna Chandra is one who is reflecting the Purna Chandra, or one who is reflecting the full potency of divinity. Okay, that is the Purna Chandra Mukhi. So, her full grace, and very beautifully what each tithi, Pratipad tithi, Dvitiya, Tritiya, Chaturthi, how do we, how should we look, how should a yogi look at it? This is very beautifully described in Tantra Loka and Tantra Sara and many other places. So what is the tithi as per the this thing? So in the Kaladhva section, okay, you have this description how the yogi looks at the tithis. So there the Purnima is the full manifestation of Chit Shakti. Okay, so Purna Chandra Mukhi. The next Nama, so the very next Nama is the
Chama.
contrast for it. Shama, the dark one, which is the Kali. Okay, so this is the Amavasya. Okay, so Shama, that which is dark. Also, the word Shama in the Sanskrit literature or in Sanskrit language also means that which is extremely beautiful. Very surprising, right?
Yeah.
Because today we are so fed with the Western ideas of what beauty is that we cannot, or we have completely ignored the perception of beauty within our own system. In our system, dark was not considered to be ugly.
Correct.
So fair is not lovely for us, or rather, fair alone is not lovely for us. Okay, dark is also manifestation of beauty. So that is why the word Shama means beautiful. The word Shama means beautiful.
Hmm.
Anyway, so that is a social perception. From the Adhyatma point of view, what is Shyama? Shyama is the capacity of the divine to completely submerge all the vikalpas, all the thought constructs. What happens when there are no thought constructs? You will be left with only pure consciousness or chit. That state of complete absence of any vikalpas is the personification of Devi as Kali or as Kala Sankarshani.
Right.
So she is Shama, where there is no vikalpas, no thought constructs. So it is emptiness, the shunyata is the shunyata of vikalpas, not some void. Because there is one chidvastu, okay, and the projections on it is caused because of the superimpositions. And when these superimpositions, which is the thought constructs or vikalpas, are completely removed, she is the pure consciousness, or Kali, or Kala Sankarshini, or Shama. So that is Shama for us.
Smita.
Smita,
Ah.
Smitasya. Smitasya.
Smitatma. Okay. Smitats.
Smita.
Okay.
Uh,
Maybe it is Sir, but I can read
yeah.
it as
Yeah. Correct.
Smitatma.
Smitatma. Okay. Anyway, Smita means it's one of the 6 kinds of smiles or laughter.
Uh-huh.
Okay, Smita is the first grade of laughter. So it goes on from Smita all the way up to Attahasa. Okay, it starts with Smita, then Hasa, Vihasa. I don't remember the next 2. The last is the Attahasa.
So how many are total?
Attahasa,
Total how many?
total 6.
Okay, 6. Ah, okay.
The laughter is classified in 6 ways. Okay, Attahasa, loud laughter where the entire body trembles and shakes. Okay, Smita is a slight movement in the lips where even the teeth will not become visible. So in Ramayana, always there is one attribute to Rama which says that Rama is Smita Purva Bhashi. If you go and approach Rama, the first response that you will get from Rama will be a slight smile. And he will not wait for you to speak. He will speak before you. Smita Purva Bhashi. So these are the 2, leadership qualities to make you feel comfortable and start the conversation. Okay. So Smita. So always he has this Smita on his sporting on his face. So here Devi is called as Smitatma. Okay, one who has the Smita in her face. Okay, that is the description part. But what is Smita? It is a first projection. It is a very first projection where there is an expansion. You see, for any form of laughter starting from Smita, there is an exhalation of breath. The opposite of this will be in Krodha, in anger, where you have to hold your breath. So someone who is in rage, you will see that he would actually hold his breath. Someone in exuberance or in joy, okay, he will let out the breath. Okay, so this is how the body behaves during the emotions. So Smita is when there is a projection. Okay, that blossoming of the lips, slight movement in the lips. So that expansion, okay, is the expansion of the prapancha. Okay, that is the expansion of the prapancha. So the teeth of the Devi, they are metaphorically compared to the vidyas, okay, which is required in the srishti. Okay, when do we require Vidya, we'll require Vidya in the state of Srishti only. Okay. And the smile of the Devi is the act of projection. And her opening and closing of the eyes is the act of projection and dissolution. You'll find these namas in Lalita Sahasranam. Unmesha Nimishotpanna Vipanna Bhunavadi. With her wink of the eye, she projects and dissolves the universe. Unmesha Nimisha Utpanna Vipanna Bhuvanavadi. And we have this Shuddha Vidyankurakara Dvija Pankti Dvayojvala. Her teeth represents the Shuddha Vidyas. Okay. So, very beautiful explanation is also offered there. Okay, so totally we have 16 plus 16, 32. Shuddha Vidya is the 32nd Tattva. Okay, in the 36th Tattva scheme. And this smile is compared to the act of projection. Okay, act of manifestation of the Devi. So Smitatma, one who brings about the act of manifestation of this entire prapancha. So she is Smitatma. The next nama is Shama
Kundala.
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 Shama Kundala. Kundala is the earrings, right? So, Shama Kundala, dark earrings. See, normally when we translate it as earrings, you should not consider it like the small drops, ear drops that we see today. The kundala is a long, roundish, coiled form of jewelry which the women used to wear in their ears. And it is called as kundala because it resembles coiled serpent. And we know where the coiled serpent lives. The coiled serpent lives in the Mooladhara.
Mooladhara.
3.5 coils. Okay. It is 3.5 coils. Okay. Akara, Ukara, Makara, Nada, Bindu. These are the 3.5 coils. A, U, Ma, Im. That Im is the Ardha. Okay. Which is Anucharya Matra. So, the representation of that in the ears. Okay. Is the kundala. And why it is called as kundala? Kunda. Kunda means the triangle. The word kunda means triangle. Okay, that's the etymology. Kunde liyate iti kundala. That which lives in the triangle is kundala. And we know the Mooladhara is a triangle. The shape of the Mooladhara is a triangle. And the Kundalini lives within the triangle. Kundalini. Kunde liyate iti kundala or Kundalini. So Shama Kundala, one who wears dark kundala is, no, why should they wear it in their ears? The ears are the source of information. Okay, the ears are considered to be the source of information. And wearing, there also, no, if you see Shiva, especially in his Nataraja form, he will be wearing 2 types of earrings. He will not have the same type of earrings in both the ears. Okay, he will have the drops on the right and he will have the round called as a Patra Kundala in his left, because the left is the Devi Bhaga. Okay, that is why the Upadesha of the Guru is in the left ear of the Sishya, because the Anugraha Shakti is the left. The Devi Shakti is the left part. And that is the Kundala. So that is the Jagarana of the Kundala or Kundalini takes place because of the Guru Upadesha. To denote that, okay, it is worn in the ear. So it's so much laden with symbolism and information, and you have completely walked so far away from all this that we don't even contemplate or think. That is why I really enjoyed the other day when Razdanji had written about the about Dijor. Okay, it was so beautiful. See,
Yeah.
this is the for even what we wear, what we do, small,
It's
small things carried spiritual significance.
beautified. Yeah, correct.
And, yeah.
Shekharji, maybe we will stop
We'll
here.
stop
Huh?
here. Yeah, we'll stop here.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Namaste.
Namaste.
Thank you.